Hello, my name is Shiva. Let me share a few things that will be useful for design students today.
How would you describe yourself as Shiva the professional?
Most of the people who are in the field that like design most often think that they are in a kind of a specific niche or a corner, which is not true. First of all, one of the stuff that I've learned is humility, being in the creative arts, but humility, right? So typically every project or every place that we work on is kind of an intersection point of three things. It's creativity, technology and business. So typically when there is a designer, he's kind of easily dumped into the creative part. But the point is it doesn't work that way. It actually works as a homogeneous thing where you got to kind of operate all over. I see myself at that intersection point. I see myself at that intersection point where kind of design intersects with technology, intersects with business.
So you work a lot in the digital space. So would you say that today there is a formula to going viral in India?
For anything to go viral, the content that we actually put together is important. Things that are completely meaningless have gone viral. I mean, cat videos have gone viral more than anything else. So the thought of actually what can go viral is something that nobody can predict. But the point is that if there is a deliberate attempt at being honest and correct in an extremely short period of time, emotionally, in an emotive way, I think it will go viral.
Now we've spoken to you about this before. We've spoken about millennial attention spans,
Yeah.
which is something you had brought up in your talk earlier.
Yeah.
Now, given that that's the kind of environment we operate in, how would you say, how is content presented with the aim of keeping the viewer hooked beyond the first 10 seconds? So how do you present content in that manner?
Okay, so interesting thing. So there's one of the stuff that I think everybody who is planning to do content marketing should kind of understand and read about is Chris Anderson's book on TED Speaks. So Chris Anderson is the guy who kind of founded TED as talks, and he actually talks about the idea of how can you construct content in an interesting way that it hooks you for a while, and the construct is so very important compared to what you do in the first 10 seconds. It is not. How do you connect easily? How do you kind of ready the audience in an interesting way? How do you twist stuff at the right moment for them to wait? How do you go to open the next chapter in this entire, even if it is like 30 seconds, how many chapters are you visiting? How are you twisting this stuff and telling the story succinctly? So it is important to look at it as a content structure, then look at it as a timeline.
What do you think, or rather what would you say a real world workspace teaches you that a college simply cannot, that a college or a design school just can't teach you?
It's like these, I don't know whether you've been to any soundproof rooms, when you go to soundproof rooms, there's like foams on all sides of the wall, and they can actually straitjacket you, and you can actually jump around the walls and nothing will happen to you. A design school is like that. It's a soundproof room. If there are 4 people in the room, you hear only those 4 people talking to each other.
In today's technology-driven brand environment, what would you say the job prospects would be for a visual communicator who's fresh out of college?
Nothing. The reason I'm saying this is this. I think there's got to be a finishing school type thing that's got to happen to visual communicators, and users are not necessarily. It's like if you eat well, if you're a foodie, you're not a good cook. So unfortunately, today's viewpoint is that if you actually use social media so well, and if you like a Twitter, blah, 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 you can be a digital marketer. Design is not as shallow as it is perceived. Honestly, it took me a long time. It took me a long time to realize that. I mean, I was happy fixing my typography and fixing my color palette and fixing my layouts, if I can call it that, and keep it very style oriented thing rather than something with depth in it, in the stuff. I mean, so let me rephrase my answer. Will they get the kind of jobs they will enjoy in the long run? Probably not. First thing that needs to be done for that kind of a stuff is ability to kind of build a humility, sense of humility. Most often, people who come out of design schools come out of the feeling that they are special, and you've got to kind of first realize that you aren't. You know, there are many special people in this world, and unless you work with other special people, you're not special enough. If you ask me what would you want to tell people who are coming out of design school today, I would want them to tell that make your own projects. At least for the first 1 year, 2 years, make your own projects that are so sound and strong that actually takes from strategy till complete execution, completely finished products that can be shown to people. If you create your own projects of sort, you have such a deep narrative that is probably special and yours alone. Like the project could be something as simple as, you know, you want to travel the trams of Calcutta for 3 weeks and just capture the people and the entire experience of traveling in trams, because one fine day they're going to stop the trams. That will be a beautiful documentation of sort. So why these? Because you're not showing me photographs then. You're showing me narratives. You're not showing me sketches. You're not showing me drawings or magazine pages that you have done or books that you have done out of it. You're actually giving me a narrative, and this is what you did. And that's what design lacks today. And if actually somebody walks up to me with those narratives of their work, I would hire them instantly.
It's a boardroom, man.
This is not a boardroom. Board never meets here. It's like more like a meeting room, creative meeting room. This is probably better.
Yeah.
Yeah?